stocks are massively overpriced. This is a reality based on the three best long-term metrics for stock market to GDP, the 10-year cyclically adjusted PE ratio, and the price to sales ratio. If you're new to this channel, I'm Paul. I'm a value investor. If you've watched our videos before, you've heard me bring up these three metrics before because I think they're very important to see where we stand at any given time in the market. Now, does this mean sell everything? Absolutely not. But let me show you where these metrics are and how you can actually profit even more so and beat the market over a long period of time just by being smart about how and when you invest. So, three metrics. The first one, stock market to GDP ratio. This is the one that's called the Buffett Indicator. Why is that? Well, Warren Buffett has said that at any given time, this is the most reliable metric for where values stand at any given time. What it does basically is it takes, pick any stock market, S&P, total stock market, Russell, whatever it is, as long as you're consistent going back in time, you divide it by the GDP of the US. It should be around 80% to get market or a little bit above market. Now, there are different metrics that have different variables, but right now we're at 160 to 165%. So according to this says that the market is currently about double overpriced. Okay, fine. Let's look at the next one. The next one is the 10-year cyclically adjusted PE ratio. So what this does is it comes in and takes the last 10 years of earnings on the S&P, brings it to today in today's dollars using CPI, and then divides the market cap by that earnings. So it gives us a longer term PE ratio for the market because any given year, there can be a lot of differences in PE based on, are we booming economy, are we in recession? It's just too unreliable, just like an individual company, to just look at 1 year. So it brings all this together. Historical average is around 15 to 16, and we're currently at 29.5 or so. So again, not quite have to fall in half, but pretty close to it. And the final one is the price to sales ratio. Basically, it takes the entire stock market value, divides it by the total sales or revenue of the stock market. Historically, it's around 1. Now, in fairness, I think this should be higher because as time has gone on, we've become more of a service-oriented economy that has a higher price to sales ratio. So let's even bump that by 20%, which I think is a lot. We're currently at 2.45, okay? That's still showing about double. So what does that mean here? Well, guys, if you remember, the stock market is going to do this in terms of value over time. But price of the stock market does this. It doesn't go straight up. I remember when I was a freshman in college, I came home and there was a guy, an insurance salesman, who was really trying to be involved in my life. And he said to me one day, Paul, I'm going to tell you exactly where stocks will be next year. I said, oh my God, where? He said 8% higher because every year stocks should go up 8% with a 2% dividend. And I was like, oh, and I thought to myself, oh my God, this guy is 65, 70. He's knowledgeable, he's smart, etc. But then I realized as years went on how dumb that statement was. Stocks either go up 20 or down 8. They don't ever go up 8 to 10%. I shouldn't say never, but the point is they're more likely to go up double digits, well over double digits, or down. So this is your number. This is how the stock market goes. But your job, as I've repeated on this channel over and over again, is to take the vast majority of your money and dollar cost average, DCA. Why? Guys, you can't guess when stocks are going to go up and down. You'll never be able to guess it. It's impossible. So instead, just invest along the way. You're going to overpay, you're going to underpay. As long as you just keep investing, guess what's going to happen? You're going to pay this much money for the market. And in actively managed mutual funds that are run by all these Harvard MBAs who are paid millions of dollars a year to run money, less than 8% of them over a 10-year period will even beat the market. So you're going to beat 90+% of these brilliant, high-paid, overpriced mutual fund managers just by doing this. But there's a little bit more you can do to make some money, all right? Let me redraw this graph. Now, let's say this is that stock market to GDP ratio, and it's supposed to be 80, right? Percent. But it goes like this. I went back 50 years, back to 1972, and I ran this number on the S&P 500 relative to US stock market, the US GDP. And I sat there and said, okay, what happens if when we're above that value, we invest X. But when we're below this value, we invest twice as much. Now you might be like, well, Paul, how am I going to do twice as much? Get a side hustle, cut your spending, do the things that are smart to do when things are more uncertain, okay? Get that side hustle, make $1,000 extra a quarter, whatever it is. So I went back to 1972, 50 years of stock market. And I sat there and said, okay, if every quarter we invested $1,000 when stocks were above this number, and every quarter that we were below, we invested $2,000, how would we do? And guys, it was a huge difference. Here's what happened. It was pretty evenly split because guess what? Over a 50-year period, it's probably gonna be half above, half below. Doing $1,000 a quarter, you would have invested $200,000 over 50 years. Now, if you invested $1,000 a quarter, but $2,000 a quarter every time it was below that average, you ended up investing, instead of $2,000, you ended up investing $308,000 total. So about 54% more money, okay? And about 100, if you look at it, I think the math was about $1,540 average. Okay. Doing it this way, you ended up with $7.1 million. Doing it this way, which is still $1,000 a quarter, but about half the time you do $2,000 a quarter, you ended up with $13.7 million. Almost double. Just by doing one thing different, which is invest more money when values are lower. And guys, it makes absolutely perfect sense. Think about it. You want to buy when stocks are going lower. You want to buy when values are low. The best thing in investing is mean reversion. What that means is we eventually go back to the average. So if stocks are above average, we're eventually going to fall below. Add to the average and below. When stocks are below average, you're going to come back up and go back up. So the point is, put more money into the market when stocks are below their long-term average. If you do this, you will crush everyone. If you invest, so instead of doing this $308,000 when stocks are below, let's say you sat there and say, you know what? I'm going to do the $1,500 a month, which is about $308,000 across the entire time. So instead of $1,000, you do $1,500. Guess what? You get 50% more than this, which is $10.4 million. So it just shows how much better it is to pick the right times to invest your money at a higher level. Instead of doing $1,500 every quarter, which is what it's about $300,000 total, if you just wait and put more money in when stocks are below their value, their long-term value, you're going to beat by $3.3 million over a 50-year period. Now, granted, that's 50 years. But if you start at the age of 22, 23, when you leave college and wait, and you guess what? You'll probably be working until you're 65 or 70. It'll still be millions of dollars more just by doing that one simple thing. And it makes perfect sense. No one can argue that. It's just math. It's just sitting there and saying, I'm going back in time and looking at this. And guess what? The future should probably be the same way, because somebody the other day in our community was telling me, well, Paul, I bet you will never go below historical averages. And I'm like, that's literally mathematically impossible. Because eventually, if we never go below the previous historical average, the overall historical average will keep going up and up and up. And eventually we'll have to fall below that. It's impossible to not go above and below historical averages. Even if there's a permanent shift in the average, the new average will still be something you look at. So unless you think it's different this time and money has changed in how we view it and investments have changed in how we view it, this will work. It's so important here for you to do this. Now you might be wondering, well, Paul, where do I find this data? Great news. Of course, we have the spot. We have our software, which was specifically created to help people invest. Everythingmoney.com. Go check it out. It's less than $1 per day, and you get this community of like-minded investors, thousands of them. We are adding those 3 metrics to the software so you know on every given day where those metrics fall. And we also show you how we calculate it and the historical numbers going back. That way you stay in the know and you can figure that out very easily. Guys, rewatch this video. You have to rewatch this video to understand this. Keep rewatching it. Ask questions in the comments. There are people that are great engaging the comments on these videos. And if you like this video, you must watch the upcoming recession. Could be the opportunity of a lifetime, because that's what will send these stocks below their historical averages. Thank you very much for watching our video. Many would say that we are currently in a recession, or one is very imminent. Do I know? I have no idea. What I'm here to do is to tell you to remain calm.